The afternoon sun bathed the runway in warm golden light as passengers boarded Flight 927 bound for London. Children clutched toys, couples chatted excitedly, and flight attendants guided everyone with practiced smiles. In seat 18A, a young mother named Claire Bennett settled in with her 6-year-old daughter, Lily, who clung to a stuffed bunny named Mr. Flops. Claire was exhausted but happy. This was their first trip abroad after years of saving. As the engines roared to life, Lily pressed her face against the window, mesmerized by the clouds. The seatbelt sign pinged. Claire whispered softly, "We're going on an adventure, sweetheart." Lily giggled, gripping her bunny tightly. Everything seemed ordinary. The plane climbed smoothly, slicing through soft white clouds. Cabin lights dimmed slightly as flight attendants began drink service. People relaxed into their seats, unaware of the drama fate had quietly packed into this journey. Far ahead, over the Atlantic Ocean, a massive storm was brewing, one the flight radar had underestimated. Claire closed her eyes briefly, her daughter resting against her arm, unaware that soon, every heartbeat on this plane would quicken. 2 hours into the flight, turbulence began softly, a gentle rumble that made drinks ripple. Passengers chuckled nervously. But soon, the gentle bumps turned into hard jolts. Luggage bins rattled. A baby started crying. The captain's voice came on, unusually tense. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're encountering unexpected severe weather. Please fasten your seatbelts immediately." The sky outside had turned dark gray. Lightning flashed in the distance. The plane began to shake violently, causing gasps and frightened whispers. Claire held Lily close. "It's okay, sweetheart. Just a little bumpy," she whispered, forcing a smile. But inside, fear was building. Flight attendants hurried down the aisles, securing loose items. The turbulence grew worse, trays clattered, oxygen masks dropped prematurely. Someone screamed. Claire's heart pounded. She looked around and saw panic spreading. An elderly man clutched his chest. A teenager whispered prayers. Lightning illuminated the cabin like a strobe light. Claire closed her eyes, whispering to Lily, "Hold on to me, no matter what." Suddenly, the plane dropped sharply, like an elevator falling. Gasps turned into screams. Drinks and bags flew through the air. Claire wrapped her arms around Lily as the aircraft shook violently. "Mayday, Mayday, Flight 927 declaring emergency!" The captain's voice broke through static. The co-pilot was injured when a panel broke loose during turbulence. Autopilot malfunctioned. The storm had grown into a monstrous wall of thunderclouds. Inside the cabin, chaos reigned. Some passengers tried to move, others prayed aloud. The plane lurched again, throwing a flight attendant against the wall. Claire's mind raced. She had always been calm for Lily, but now fear clawed at her. She whispered over and over, "You're safe. Mommy's here. You're safe." Lily, surprisingly, stopped crying. She looked at her mother with wide, trusting eyes. "I believe you," she said softly. In that moment, something shifted. Claire realized Lily's strength came from her. If she crumbled, her daughter's world would too. She steadied her breath, even as the storm roared outside. As the storm intensified, panic grew uncontrollable. A passenger near the cockpit shouted, "We're not going to make it!" Others began crying hysterically. The cabin had turned into a storm of its own, fear feeding fear. Claire closed her eyes. She remembered her late husband's words from years ago. "In chaos, your calm becomes their anchor." She leaned down, kissed Lily's forehead, and whispered something only her daughter could hear. "We're going to be okay. Mommy's right here. Listen to my heartbeat." Lily placed her ear against Claire's chest. Slowly, her breathing steadied. Passengers nearby noticed the little girl calming in the midst of terror. A man across the aisle took a deep breath. A woman holding rosary beads whispered prayers more softly. It spread like a ripple. Claire's whisper wasn't loud, but its effect was profound. Her calm presence began to slow the panic around her. People started looking to her, as if she carried some invisible light in the storm. The captain fought to regain control, But inside the cabin, her whisper was the first moment of hope. The plane was circling dangerously close to the storm's core. With one co-pilot injured and systems failing, the captain announced they were attempting an emergency diversion to a coastal airbase. Claire tightened Lily's seatbelt and whispered, "We're landing soon, baby. Just breathe with me." Outside, lightning danced around the wings. Inside, everyone clung to hope. The descent was rough, violent crosswinds shook the plane. The landing gear jammed briefly. Every second felt like a lifetime. Claire closed her eyes, whispering steady words into Lily's ear, her heartbeat becoming the rhythm that kept her daughter calm. People watched her and followed her lead, breathing slowly, holding hands. The captain's voice came through. "Brace for landing." The cabin echoed with the sound of seatbelts tightening and whispered prayers. The plane broke through clouds, revealing a drenched runway below. The wheels screeched against the wet runway. The plane bounced once, then again, before finally slowing to a stop. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Then a roar of applause, sobs, and laughter filled the cabin. The captain's shaky voice came through. "We've landed safely. Welcome back." Claire exhaled, tears mixing with rain on the window. Lily hugged her tightly. Passengers around them reached out to thank her. A flight attendant whispered, "You kept everyone calm, even us." As they disembarked, people looked at Claire not just as another passenger, but as the quiet hero of Flight 927. Her whisper in the storm had reminded them of something powerful. Courage doesn't always shout, it sometimes speaks softly. Later, a journalist would write, "It wasn't the storm that defined that flight. It was a mother's whisper that saved 180 hearts from drowning in fear."